So today we are going to talk about EBS Multi-Attach. Now EBS Multi-Attach simply means that when you connect maybe 3, 4 or 5 or even more EC2 instance where your website server is running, you connect it to just a single EBS volume. As you all know that EBS volume is the storage of what of EC2. It is the one that helps EC2 server to keep data. You understand? Even whenever the EC2 server fail, EBS volume still keeps some of those data. That is why it is very, very important. So why EBS volume attach, multi-attach is important is that it is independent. If those EC2 web server that is powering your website, if they fail, you can automatically launch new server and attach this backup storage that you have. You can attach to the new EC2 server, and your customer will not even experience any downtime. They will not experience any failure whenever they are trying to write or read within your application. Number 2 is that EBS volume multi-attach also help your EC2 web server to retain some data. Even when the application fails, they will still retain some data so that your EC2 server can still make use of them. Then number 3 is they can be used as backup. You can easily snapshot some data that are in your EBS volume that is attached to maybe your database. You can easily snapshot them and store them in S3 buckets archive so that you can keep your data permanently without being tampered. Now, for better understanding, let's say we have an e-commerce website that is actually running. So in an e-commerce website, we have the application layer and we have the database layer. Where we mostly use EBS multi-attach volume is at the database, because at the database, that is where your customer is going to maybe buy something. Let's say they are buying shirts on that particular website. So that's where they are going to they are going to order for shirts. So they are going to perform their read and write operation. So because of that kind of thing that they want to be performing on your application, which is going to be right on your database. So EBS volume like IO2 or GP3 need to be attached to your EC2 server, because your database is going to run on EC2 server. So for that, your database to now be efficient, to be able to work concurrently for audio users, audio customers that you have, you need to attach EBS volume to it, so that anytime customer order or buy something within your application, automatically it is going to be written into a backup storage, which is EBS volume. So if any of your database, if any of them crash, you can easily launch a new database on your EC2, and it will have that EBS volume that you have been used before. It is going to have it back, because EBS volume can be attached or detached whenever there is a failure in the database. So that is one of the real life usage of EBS volume. So EBS volume really help database to function very well and really help them to store some data persistently, so that you will not lose your customer data, so that your customer data will make persistence without experiencing any downtime. EBS multi-attach can have up to 16 EC2 attached to it, meaning that I can attach 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 16 EC2. I can attach it to EBS multi-attach volume, and it's going to allow them. So it means that if I have maybe 16 database that I'm running, I can attach all those 16 database that are running on EC2. I can attach them to just one EBS multi-attach volume, and it is allow my application to continue running, to continue working efficiently, concurrently, so that my customer can perform a lot of read and write on my database, and my database will not experience any downtime. Even if my database fail, the EBS volume is already storing some data, some of their ordering, some of their buying, some of their payment is already storing some of them, so that anytime there's a failure, I have backup that I can use and spin up a new database, and my customer will not experience any downtime. So the purpose of using EBS multi-attach volume is to be able to use one EBS volume for many EC2 web server or database. So that is just the essence. So that is that about this video. I hope you like it. See you in my next